This is a Craftsman style. Some call it a cottage or a bungalow style. This is an average working man's home, something that an average Torrance foundry worker would be living in 1920. Mr. Stone, the resident we know was here in 1920, was working in the foundries. We think this house was built in spec to encourage factory workers to come and live in Torrance rather than commute in from Los Angeles or someplace else. So it's a little over 800 square feet. In 1930, you could rent this house for $34 a month. It was very definitely a blue-collar town. Torrance was the model industrial city. Torrance said, let's have the factory workers own their own homes. If the workers owned their home, they'd be happier, they'd produce more, they'd care for their environment and their community. Bad news is it didn't really happen. It was, back in the day, they could fire you for anything. So to get a worker to even pay $30 a month in a mortgage means a commitment, and that worker didn't know from day to day to day whether he'd have a job. Mr. Stone didn't live here long. It was owned from 1925 to the mid-70s by Mr. Webb. Mr. Webb worked for the city of Torrance in the Park and Rec department, and we don't know how much he paid when he bought the house. Typically, houses like this would have gone from anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000. Of course, the patio that we're standing in is very characteristic of the house. They enclosed this patio, which is one of the big selling points according to the owner, in around 1927.
This porch has a story. My wife lives or works nearby and would go to work every day and see this house and look at this porch and goes, wow, that looks a lot like my grandmother's porch, brings back a lot of fond memories. And then one day she saw a for sale sign. Without even looking at the house, she said, I gotta buy this house. And it all was around this porch. I'd like to talk about this area of our house. When we moved in, it was barren. There was nothing here. And it just called in for us to add something. We had thought about bookshelves and different things. And one day we were going to the Pasadena flea market, and my wife saw two pieces that had been salvaged from a house. She happened to see the vision that how it would fill in a blank space in our house. And this is the after result. This piece and this piece over here are the two pieces that we bought. And then we had this built with a nice little storage area underneath to pull the two pieces together and give you a nice place to sit in the window. We were told by the salvage company that both these pieces were from the late 1800s, and they would fit with the style and the age of this house, which is from 1919. The whole goal of everything we did here to try to be period specific and have the illusion, at least, that it was always here. This is a very unique room because most bedrooms don't have two doorways or entryways. As you just pass through one and there's another one here. The only good thing about it, this is a small house, so it acts as a hallway when no one's occupying it. So we use it as a spare room for visiting guests. This bathroom was like a 70s kind of decor. Had the big long lights along here and a big wooden cabinet here with a square cabinet here. We totally gutted it. The only thing we left in was the clawfoot tub. We had it re-porcelained and the outside painting to match the color scheme of the house. Next, what we did is we wanted to replace the sink, and we found we had a very limited amount of space, so we shopped and shopped. Nothing was pre-made. Then we went to a bed and breakfast, and they had turned a dresser into a sink, and I thought, what a neat idea. So we started looking for dressers that would fit in this vicinity, and they were either too wide or too tall. And then we went to a flea market, and they had a piece of furniture with a sheet draped over it selling little knickknacks. And I looked and measured underneath the sheet, and that fit our parameters, so I talked them into selling it for us. We paid something like $40 for it. And what I did is I went and I cut out for a basin and for a sink, and it's fully functional, and now that's our lavatory. This kitchen was totally gutted, and what we wanted to build was something that could have been here in 1919. So we found a contractor that came and built the cabinets on site. there's only 23 inches from the wall out available for spacing, and that's an odd size. They had to be custom built here. And what the kitchen is focused around is a 1928 Wedgwood stove. It's been fully restored. In the June issue of Cottages and Bungalows, that's when they saw the website of the contractor who did the kitchen. They wanted to feature the kitchen, so there's an article about the kitchen, and there's different pages showing the stove. It shows different features about the kitchen and the mudroom.
The charm of Old Torrance, of course, is its eclectic nature. There's several theories about this. One theory is that in the old days, people moving in from the Midwest wanted to take their architectural styles with them. And that's why you kind of see 5 different styles of the smaller homes in Torrance. The larger homes on Post and Coda were built for the managers, and they represented styles that they think the managers would have enjoyed. All of Torrance was designed originally as a walking area. You walked to shops, you walked to work. If you needed anything, you hopped a red car and you're in Redondo or downtown. The way they've done the space is marvelous. One hopes if someone is to buy a historic house, in quotes, one hopes that they do so like the owners here, to restore it, to make it both livable and to make it, restore it to what it once was.